What is good, Pauper people? Bryant Cook here, and today we're playing Walls Combo. I actually recorded this deck about 2 months ago, and you can find that video in the card above. But before we talk about the differences between that deck and what we're playing today, first I'd like to take a moment and thank our sponsor, Eminence Gaming. Here's a word from them. The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting your own Commander events with features such as easy-to-create event registration for 4-player Swiss-based games. Event management has never been so simple, and it's on the web, which means no downloads required. You can sign up for $5 by visiting eminence.events/subscribe. Alright, go check out Command Tower. It's wonderful if you're looking to play CDH or EDH at your local game store. Helps set up pods, tournaments, things like that. Alright, well, what is the difference between that list that I played 2 months ago and this list? Well, in that video at the end, I talked about wanting to play Tinderwall, a card from Ice Age. It sacrifices to add 2 red. Well, why is that good? I also mentioned wanting a second copy of Tuk Tuk Rumblefort, so that way you can have turns where you chain multiple defending creatures like Overgrown Battlement or your Axebane Guardians together to create more and more mana. And I think Tuk Tuk Rumblefort really allows you to play more like a combo deck in general. So Tinderwall helps enable that, and I think that's sort of nice. Okay, well, another change is Avacyn's Pilgrim over the Jasperus Sentinel. I thought that having too many of the 1 green tappers was kind of awkward. Well, when you have Avacyn's Pilgrim, you obviously get to support the white cards in your sideboard like Crimson Acolyte or Obsidian Acolyte, which have both been really good in my experience. It also allows you to play turn 2 Axebane Guardian, lead the Stampede, stuff like that, and that's really been great. So I did try to record a league with 2 Avacyn's Pilgrim, but I just found myself wanting more and more of this. So I've gone up to 3 instead, just because I was having a little bit of mana inconsistency issues with 4 Tinderwall, and I just kept on wanting this Avacyn's Pilgrim. Maybe even 4 is correct, I'm not sure. So we'll find that out in the league. I also, admittedly, I want to cut Secret Door. I don't like this card. I keep on talking myself into leaving it in the deck, but it's just been really awkward all the time. And the reason you play it is that you can pick it up with Shield Wall Sentinel. Well, when you have Shield Wall Sentinel and infinite mana, you could also just go get Drift of Phantasms into your Valakut Invoker. Okay. Well, let's say Invoker's dead. So having 2 infinite mana outlets is always nice. Well, you can also get Drift of Phantasms into Pulsum Rasa to get back your Invoker, or you could even get back Reaping the Graves. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about it, and I just don't think it necessarily needs to be Secret Door. I'd like it if this card was another Mana Dork personally, but that's something I want to keep an eye out on in this league. Another change from that last video was I'm playing Gorilla Shaman today over the Glamour. When you're a deck that has tons of mana through these defender creatures, Gorilla Shaman tends to be very good in the affinity matchup. Well, the Glamour was really awkward because 2 mana to trade with one of their indestructible lands never felt great. So I'm personally choosing to play Gorilla Shaman over that, and Tinderwall helps support us there. Other than that, this list is pretty stock. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. I'd love to answer those, or maybe even learn a thing or two. But for now, I kind of want to just hop on in and play some, Pauper Magic the Gathering. It's worth noting, I do love this deck. I actually love it so much that I bought it in Japanese foil, and I've been goldfishing it a ton in order to get used to the reps. I've only played 2-3 leagues with this since that recording, mostly non-recorded. I mean, I did try to record 1 league, but it was disastrous, but I've been practicing, so I should have most things down. We'll see how it goes, and let's just go play Magic and I'll stop rambling. See you in the first match. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicswarm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicswarm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Alright, time for match number 1. We are on the play. Once again, if the Secret Door was a Mana Dork, you could think about keeping this, but we just have to mulligan. Alright, so this hand is lacking a payoff, but we do have Winding Way, which I enjoy. I think that we can keep this. getting rid of the second copy of Quirion Ranger. Our opponent's taking a mulligan to 5. We're going to play the Ranger and pass. The opponent just draws and passes. Okay. We did not draw a land. So we'll attack for 1, get that damage in. And then post-combat, we will float a green. And then use the Quirion Ranger, picking up the forest. So now it untaps, we replay our land, and we've made a mana. We will then play Overgrown Battlement and pass the turn. Orzhov Ballistica. Okay, so now they play a crew land that has to return. Sure. Avacyn's Pilgrim a little bit late here. And they just conceded. Okay, so they showed us that they were on Orzhov. Maybe that was a mistake for them. We're going to board in the Obsidian Acolyte now. I think we're also interested in the Pulse Marasa. Okay, so that's 4 cards coming in. I don't think that speed is necessarily an issue in these matchups, so I'm going to board out the Tinderwalls and the second copy of Tuk Tuk. This, like I said, not a speed matchup. This is an endurance-based matchup, so I think we take out the speed cards, we board in cards that are there to protect us. And let's submit. Game number 2, and we've opened up a killer hand. Keep. Okay, they play the Storefront into a Swamp. Secret Door. We'll play the Avacyn's Pilgrim and pass. Plains, okay. Spirited Companion, you've got it. Draw for turn, another land. So I could lead the Stampede here, but it would result in me discarding cards. I don't really want to do that. So we will play the Caretaker here and the Leaf Caller. Pass the turn. I mean, maybe I should have let on the Caretaker so that way I could have played Secret Door. That might have been bad sequencing on my part. I might have was supposed to play Caretaker on turn 1 instead. Another copy of Spirited Companion, you've got it. And now they'll play the Orzhov Basilica. Mnemonic Wall. Play the land for turn. Let's lead the Stampede. We found 1 card. Brutal. Just devastating. We will play the Secret Door. Pass the turn. That was a rough lead the Stampede. They replay the land. They have 7 cards. They're attacking. I'm just going to take it. I know that I could block with the Secret Door here. I don't want to lose my Secret Door to any sort of silly card that our opponent has where destroy target creature that blocked this turn or whatever. I don't want to risk it. 1 damage is not worth it. Inspiring Overseer, sure. Oh, they're on the Ephemerate deck that has the initiative creature in it. We find a Drift. What to do? I think I'm going to get a little bit risky here. I'm going to choose to go shields down with the Acolyte and play. Maybe I shouldn't. You know what? I'm just going to pass. We can leave the Acolyte up. Play it safe. No reason to tap out or overexpose myself. It's worth noting that if this Secret Door was a mana creature, our draw would have been so much better. They play land 5, and now they're going to combat. No blocks. I will take 2. Another Spirited Companion. Sure. They have 7 in hand. We drew the Rumble. Convert to blue. Convert to blue. Transmute the Drift. We will grab Axebane Guardian. Pass the turn. I guess I was actually... Okay, I just made a mistake. Whoops, and I hit my desk. Alright, so they play Deadly Dispute. I made a mistake. So, in my mind, I was like, I wonder if there's a way to play Tuk Tuk into anything else this turn. I think in reality, I was supposed to probably just play the shield, the Sentinel Shield, because then the Drift gets the 3 mana value combo piece. So either gets, why can't I think of the names right now? Freed from the Real or the, I can't think of it right now. The Soulbound creature. Alchemist? I don't know what this does. Coalition Honor Guard. While an opponent is choosing targets as part of casting a spell or activating an ability, that we must target this flag bearer instead. Sure. Alright, so we're going to fall to 14. So that means that my Acolyte doesn't work anymore. Draw. Another Drift. I guess I don't need to tap this. Let's just tap here for red. Play the Tuk Tuk. Tuk Tuk Goose. And we'll pass. I don't believe that Soul Bond can target an opponent's creature, so I think that might actually work. Okay, they still have 7 in hand. They're doing very well at the moment. They don't attack. Sure. Another Inspiring Overseer. This deck is just pure value. Thraben Inspector, you've got it. Draw another Acolyte. So we can play the Axebane here. Taps for, I believe, 3, 4. We'll do blue for a bunch. Play the Shield Wall Sentinel. This triggers. Yes. Go grab an Overgrown Battlement. Tap for green. Now we'll play the Battlement. So now this taps for 6. They cast down. Sure. So they're tapped out at the moment. Although I can't win right now. Tap for 5. Filter a green into a blue. Let's play the Mnemonic Wall, and we'll get back Lead the Stampede. Yes, I would like to use its ability. Thank you. Alright, pass. Another Inspiring Overseer. And now they're attacking for 4 in the air. Sure, so we go to 10 here. Still 5 cards in hand, which is a lot. Deadly Dispute. Did I say 10 cards? I'm losing my mind. Another Spirited Companion. I feel like I said 10 cards, and that just wasn't correct. I think I said my life total. Okay, so we drew a land. Let's lead a Stampede. Galvanic Alchemist, okay. So that is the piece we want. Now let's convert into a blue. Play the Galvanic Alchemist. Soul Bond. Choose my Axebane. Okay, so they didn't respond by killing it. We're going to make a bunch of blue. Untap the Axebane. Okay, this is a good sign. Let's transmute Drift of Phantasms and show our opponent that they're dead. Okay. Untap our Axebane. They will ephemerate their Overseer. Okay. So we'll make 1 red, make some more blue and a couple green. Play the Invoker. That happened. Sweet. Untap. Our opponent just said GG's, so let's see if they made me go through it. They do not, and we are victorious in match number 1. I didn't play the best this round. I'm not going to pretend that I did, but hey, we still got a W. Hopefully I can tighten up the ship a little bit going into match number 2. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. Match number 2, we're on the draw, and we've opened up a pretty solid hand here. Hard to say no to this. Forest into what? Is this the mirror match? Abundant Growth. So it's Bogles. I believe that Walls is favored in this matchup, assuming that it is in fact Bogles. Draw for turn. Another land. Let's play out the Tinderwall. Pass that turn. Looking very Bogle-like. Speaking of, there it is. Draw for turn. Winding Way. We're just going to play the Overgrown Battlement and pass. Another tap land, sure. Not the fastest start for the Bogle deck. Sure thing. Rancor, so now they're attacking for 3, so we'll follow the 17. Draw for turn, another Tinderwall. Play the Axebane Guardian. So now this Overgrown Battlement will tap for 3, we'll play Winding Way. We'll say Creature. Pretty good, pretty good. Sacrifice this Tinderwall. We'll play the Rumble Fort. I mean, that's what we asked for. Like, this is exactly why we play Tinderwall. Okay, so we'll tap this for green. Yeah, green. Play the Overgrown Battlement. Now we play Tinderwall. So this Overgrown Battlement will now tap for 5. And now we'll play the Shield Sentinel. Yes. Go get another Axebane Guardian. Sacrifice the Tinderwall. We'll play the Axebane. This taps for 6, and I'm 1 mana short of victory here. We needed 7 for a win. So we'll transmute. Hold on. So if I get another Axebane here, so I could get infinite mana this turn, but I can't win. Because I could grab another Axebane Guardian for victory. I think I'm just going to grab Lead the Stampede instead. That was not very good. Okay. That was bad. But we definitely have a win next turn, so let's just survive and untap. Armadillo Cloak, that's fine. Ouch. They have a lot of life. So we'll start by playing a couple walls that, you know, increase our defender count. And now we'll play an Axebane Guardian. Tap this for a bunch of mana. Sweet. So now we will transmute. Storm is 3. We'll grab another Drift. Transmute this. And then we'll grab Reaping the Graves. So now we return 4 creatures. Okay. It's not the usual way that I end up casting Reaping the Graves, but it still works. Play the Tinderwall. Tap for a bunch more green. Transmute. Grab the Freed from the Reel. Tap this for a bunch of blue. And we'll play Free from the Reel on this one. I know that I have one that's untapped already, but I don't know. Oh, and now they moved it. That's something else. Okay. So we'll untap. Transmute. Show them that we have victory and hopefully they'll concede. Play the Valakut Invoker. Alright, so I just want... Maybe they'll concede if I show them that we have the infinite damage. Alright, so it looks like we do. Not the end of the world. So one thing that you have to understand with playing a deck like this is that you signed up for this. So sometimes you're just going to have to go through it and it's not the end of the world. You made a decision when you selected your deck. I don't let this stuff bother me. Just because it is a part of playing online and it is different from paper. Alright, I guess if they're not going to transmute, or if they're not going to concede, let's go get another thing to increase our defender count so we can, you know, maybe speed this up a little bit. Lead the Stampede. Look at that. More defenders. Play the Rumble Fort. Caretaker. Battlement. And another. We're just walling out. Okay, so now each tap is for 14. Alright, so I'm going to select this there and start picking them. They're now at 14. Alright, almost done. We'll untap one final time. Retap. I mean, even with our opponent making us play it out, this game didn't even take 7 minutes. Like, we have plenty of time. We want the Rare Revelation. And probably take out the Mnemonic Wall. I don't think that's a card we really need in this matchup. Hit Submit. We're not looking to play a value game. Game number 2, we will keep. Alright, better start for the opponent with a turn 1 Bogle. The Axebane Guardian. Let's play the Caretaker. Whoops. Pass the turn. Tap land. Rancor. Sure. No blocks. Draw. It's another Overgrown. Not bad. So we will start off by playing the Quirion Ranger. Tap for a green. Doesn't really matter what we tap for here. And we'll play the Battlement. Pass the turn. Ethereal Armor. Okay, their creature's getting larger. And Abundant Growth. 6 damage coming in. We're going down to 11. Yeah. No blocks. Draw. Drift. Okay, so let's start off by playing another Battlement. So that makes this Battlement tap for 3. Play Axebane. And then we can untap the Battlement and pick up a forest. Replay the forest. Tap this now for 4, and we will lead the Stampede. Okay. Play Tinderwall and Caretaker. We have a win all wrapped up next turn. We just have to survive. A Cartouche of Solidarity. Okay. Hyena Umbra, so that's 10 damage. We're going to throw something in front of, like, we don't need to put a ton in front. I just don't want to die to, like, a gut shot or something, so we're going to put just a little bit of toughness in front of it, just to make sure that I don't die to something silly. And then we have a pretty easy win after that. All right, so let's tap this for a bunch of blue and a bunch of green. Then I will transmute this. We'll go get the Freed from the Real. Cast the Freed from the Real on the Axebane Guardian. Untap. Now we'll tap it again. Do 1 red. Show them that they're already dead. Axebane Guardian. Play the Shield Wall Sentinel. Yes, I would like to search. We'll go grab a Tuk Tuk. Tap for red. Play the Tuk Tuk. Basically, I'm just trying to get my creatures to tap for more mana. If they're going to make me go through it, I want each tap of the Axebane to matter just a little bit more. Okay, so I just used the Quirion Ranger. We're just building up mana. This part's kind of boring, but you got to do it if you're going to play this deck online. And I'll quit narrating this part so you don't have to watch it. And our opponent has conceded the game, so we are officially 2-0. Let's see if we can get the next 3. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. We are looking to keep running hot. We're already 2-0 and we've opened up a pretty reasonable hand for match 3. I'm going to keep. Play the Forest, pass the turn. Mountain. Alright, Burn is not an easy matchup for us. Draw. The Caretaker isn't bad. We're just going to play the Battlement and pass. Synthesizer into Lava Dart. They play a Mountain. They're looking to build towards Metalcraft for a Galvanic Blast. Kuldotha Rebirth. Okay. Draw. They probably should have attacked first, because then I'm not allowed to block and I take 1 damage. Play the Caretaker. And then we'll play Quirion Ranger. Tap it for 2. Play a Winding Way. We'll say Creature. Not bad. And now we'll untap the Overgrown Battlement. Hold on. I want to make sure that... Why is it doing that? Okay, well I guess it's making me do it. Nope, it just wouldn't let me untap my Overgrown Battlement. Love Magic Online sometimes. Alright, that sucked. Pass the turn. Another Kuldotha Rebirth. Bushwhacker. That's a lot. A lot of damage coming in here. We'll block. Alright, Quirion Ranger, I cannot afford for you to not work properly again, so don't mess this up for me, please. Thank you. Draw. Axebane, that was a good one. Let's tap this for red. Tap the Quirion Ranger. We'll play a Valakut Invoker. Oh, I'm sorry. Nope, we want to play Tuk Tuk. I'm glad that I didn't tap the Forest first. We needed to play Tuk Tuk there. Alright, so now this taps for 3. We will play Axebane Guardian, which will now tap for 4. And now I can tap this for mana. Untap the Axebane. Return. Okay. So far, so good. Tap this for mana. The Galvanic Alchemist. Soul Bond. We will Soul Bond onto the Axebane. Okay, so we have infinite mana. Untap. Tap it again. We'll do 1 red. Show them that we have the Invoker. Alright, it looks like they want to see it. No harm. Oh, never mind. It looks like we're going to game 2. Thank you, red opponent. I appreciate you. Alright, Crimson Acolyte definitely comes in. We also want the Healer of the Glade. And the Pulse Marasa. So a lot of cards coming in. What to take out? We definitely don't need Mnemonic Wall. I think Secret Door can come out. Once again, I think that card's a trap anyway. Unintended dungeons and stuff. But I don't think that this card is actually that good. So now we're at 66 cards. Take out 1 Shield Wall Sentinel. It's just kind of slow. I think maybe you're supposed to take out the Tinderwall package. It's hard to be explosive versus a deck with a bunch of removal. Oh, that's 61. Whoops. Am I allowed to cut something before this starts? Maybe. Oh, never mind. I submitted 61. It got me. They kept 7 this time. This hand isn't great, but I think I'm going to keep it. It's just like kind of like if our Overgrown Battlement dies, this hand might not do a lot. Monastery Swift Spear. Okay. We're at 19. Healer of the Glade, a great turn 1 draw here. Okay, feeling a little bit better now. Kuldotha Rebirth, just immediately sacrificing their land. No blocks. I'll take 2 back down to 20. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Play the Overgrown Battlement, and we'll pass. Chain Lightning on the Healer of the Glade. Okay. I'm down with that. This Healer of the Glade has been so good. And I am not blocking here. I can't risk the Overgrown Battlement dying, so I'll take 5. I go to 15. Draw for turn. Pulse of Murasa. Winding Way. Creature. Play the Caretaker. And now we're down to 7 cards in hand. We'll pass. I will block with the Cerulean Caretaker on a Goblin token, because anything that would normally kill the Caretaker would kill it regardless whether or not I blocked. We draw the Acolyte. That's not too shabby. This now taps for 2. We're going to Pulse of Murasa on the Healer of the Glade. Play the Healer of the Glade. And look at us just gaining life. Living our best life. Alright, so now we're going to tap this for a green. I'm going to play the Avacyn's Pilgrim and we'll pass. Galvanic Blast. On my Avacyn's Pilgrim. Not very nice of you. So this is 5 damage coming in and they still have 3 in hand. So we'll go to 16. Another Forest. I'm going to tap for red. Play a Tuk-Tuk. Tap for green. Axebane Guardian. And they're going to bolt my Rumble Fort. Sure. Pass the turn. They have 2 cards in hand. 3 after their draw step. No blocks. If you can kill me from 16, do it. And they're passing. We draw another land, we'll play it. Let's tap. Undo. Let's tap for white. Play the Acolyte. See if they respond. They do not. Let's play another copy of Axebane Guardian. So now that taps for 4. We will transmute the Drift. Oh no. I messed up. I don't actually have the wind here. I needed to do 1 more blue. I'm going to pick up a Pulse of Murasa. Getting back the Drift. Yeah, I definitely just messed this up. Whoops. Pass the turn. My bad. Reading comprehension is very difficult. Implementation of Combustion. They're going to sacrifice it immediately to draw a card. They play a land. Reckless Impulse. So they're giving me the go-ahead to try to win. Block. Block. We'll take 4. Alright, this should be pretty easy now. Start off with the Healer of the Glade for storm purposes. Tap for all blue. Tap. Alright, so now we will drift. Pick up the Freed from the Real. Put that onto this Axebane Guardian. Okay, now we make a bunch of blue. Untap. Tap it again. Untap. Make some more mana. Untap it. And now we'll Reaping the Graves, get back our creatures. Sweet. So now we just have the win wrapped up. Tap this for a red. We'll play the Tuk-Tuk just because I like having my little dude in play. Good to have friends. And if you don't have any, you should probably get some. I'd recommend it. We'll go get the Valakut Invoker. And the opponent concedes. We're 3-0. 2 matches left. Let's keep at it. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match number 4. We are on the play. I want to cut this card so badly. I think we should mulligan. This hand is better. keep... I think it's the second Winding Way, but I'm not sure. It's either that or the Rumble Fort. Maybe it was supposed to be the Rumble Fort. Play the Forest, and then we'll play this Cerulean Caretaker. Pass. Ice Tunnel. Not a matchup we want. And they have a turn 1 Snuff out. That's brutal. Okay. Let's Winding Way right away. Creature. Ugh. Brutal. That hurt. I am now regretting bottoming the other Winding Way. Okay. Draw. Leaf Caller. Play Tinderwall. Play the Quirion Ranger. Untap my Tinderwall. And then we'll play the Leaf Caller. Pass. Our opponent mulliganed to 5, and I feel like they're miles ahead. Oh, geez. Another Snuff Out. Okay. 3 Snuff Outs. Sure. Wild. They play the Archaeologist. They return the Spell Pierce to their hand. So they have Spell Pierce and 1 unknown. Draw for turn. Pulsa Marasa. I guess I'm going to play the Axebane here. I mean, if they have Snuff Out 4, you got me. 2 blue for another Archaeologist. Unexpected Fangs can be returned here. And they don't. Okay. So they are still holding on to 1 Spell Pierce and 1 unknown. Drift. I mean, I'm not going to complain about the drift. That's fine. We are passing the turn. Gurmag Angler. So they still have Spell Pierce and 1 unknown card in hand. Tap for blue. We'll play a Pilgrim. And then we'll transmute for the other half of the combo. Read from the reel. So we could go get the Galvanic Alchemist. I just don't really think it makes a big difference. I guess with the Pulsa Marasa in hand, maybe it's slightly better. I don't have strong opinions. I was just thinking that if we can play free from the reel through the Spell Pierce, probably a little bit easier. But it ends up being about the same. Mnemonic Wall. So I can play Freed here. Alright. So if they Spell Pierce, I have to pay. You just have Counterspell? Yep. That stinks. We have to pass. Should have just gotten the, I guess, actually, it ends up being similar. I'd like another Defender creature. One that's actually castable, unlike this Mnemonic Wall. They play an Aquafire, they have 2 cards in hand. I am not blocking this. Sure. I go to 10. Another copy of Avacyn's Pilgrim. Blue. Play Mnemonic Wall. I think we're going to get back Lead the Stampede. Yes, I'd like to return it. Pass. A mental note. They get rid of another Archaeologist. So they're still holding on to that Spell Pierce. I'm going to go to 5. Okay. Forest is a good pickup. Let's Lead the Stampede. So I'm leaving these back as blockers, because I don't want to have to block with one of my Defender creatures. They Spell Pierce. I'm going to tap for 3 green. Pay for the Spell Pierce. Alright, so they're Hellbent. We will pick up all 5, thank you. Unfortunately, we do have to pass the turn here. But, like I mentioned, I have the Avacyn's Pilgrim to block, and then we should be able to win next turn. Move to blocks. We will block the Avacyn's Pilgrim. Alright, it's time for us to have some fun. Let's play the Cerulean Caretaker. Overgrown Battlement. Tap for a green. Tap. Quirion Ranger. Tap the Battlement. Let's play the Leaf Caller. Winding Way. Creature. Double Tinderwall. Okay, now we can tap this for a bunch of mana. Tap. Sacrifice these. Actually, hold on. One moment. I'm going to untap this. Rather than sacrifice my defenders, let's do it this way. Okay, so now we will transmute the drift. We will go get the Galvanic Alchemist. Soul Bond. Pulsa Marasa back the drift. Transmute. Show them the Invoker. Alright, they're going to make me click through it, but they are at 8, so it's not that big of a deal. Alright, they're just going to concede. Thank you. And yeah, let's try to get game number 2 versus Dimir Terror. This is where the Obsidian Acolytes come into play, as well as this Pulse Marasa. Okay, so not a speed matchup, which means I think we're allowed to take out the Tinder Walls and the Tuk Tuks. Let's get ready to rumble. Fort. Submit. Going out with a mulligan. I don't think we're allowed to keep this hand. I mean, I want to, it's just... You don't have land 2. Even if you did, this Caretaker doesn't tap for mana. It's just kind of a trap hand. Not that this is any better. We'll keep and get rid of a Pulse Marasa. Opponent on another mulligan to 5. They play Nice Tunnel, 4 cards. Battlement, that's good. So we played the Cerulean Caretaker in past. They have 4 in hand. Do I want to play the Overgrown into Counterspell? Oh, they're tapping mana now. They Chainer's Edict me, sure. Secret Door. I can't. This card is getting caught. I hate it. Another Chainer's Edict. Brutal. Draw for turn. Can't cast anything. This is where they start to pull ahead. Like, if this Secret Door was a green ramp spell like I wanted it to be, we'd be fine right now. They're passing. We're just going to second main. Spellbomb, sure. So that does make my Pulse Marasa a little bit worse. Play the Caretaker. Pass the turn. They did not cycle the Spellbomb. A little surprised by that. On the mulligan to 5, they're playing for the value Spellbomb. Draw for turn. It's another forest. I'm going to pass here. I want to try to return the... Okay, so here they do it. Let's see if they pay the black. Now I'm going to Pulse Marasa back the Overgrown Battlement. So you get a Cerulean Caretaker. They have found land number 3. And they're passing. Quarian Ranger. Okay, we'll play the Tuk Tuk. Rumble. Blue Blast. Okay. So we'll... that actually doesn't do a whole lot, but we can do it anyway. Let's see if it eats a removal spell. It does not. Pass. Rotten Reunion. Okay. Another spell bomb, sure. So this zombie is going to go away on its own. We could block with a Caretaker. The only downside is if they have Ice Fangs, but I have to imagine they board that out in this matchup. 2 mana here for a Gurmag. Sure. They have 1 card in hand. Play land for turn. Lead the Stampede. We lose our Reaping the Graves, but there's a spell bomb in play anyway. Play the Battlement. Untap the Caretaker, pick up a land. Tap for green. We'll play another Quarian Ranger. Pass the turn. Land for turn, they have 1 card in hand. And our graveyard on lockdown. Between the Rotten Reunion and the Nile Spellbomb. So this creature is going to die on the end of their turn. No blocks for me. I'll take 7 down to 19. Oh, it's at end of combat, not end of turn. Okay. They're passing with 1 card. Ooh. Play the land for turn. Let's tap for a white. Play the Acolyte. So if they do have a removal spell, they need to use it now. They counterspell. Sure. I'm fine with that. Play the Battlement. Okay, so I think we have to play this game kind of in a tough manner. Tap for blue, tap this. And then we're going to untap the Caretaker again, returning a forest. Tap for a blue. Transmute the Drift. Do I get Lead the Stampede or do I just go get the Axebane? I can't play Axebane this turn. I think I'm going to grab Lead the Stampede. Pass. They should use the Spellbomb here, but let's see what they do. I think they just need the cards. They agree, so they draw their card. Now they're up to 2 cards for turn. Thought Scour. And another copy of Gurmag Angler. 1 card left in hand. We're about to go to 14. No blocks. We draw Winding Way. I'm going to start off by tapping for a blue. And I'll play the Secret Door. Just playing this so that way my Battlements tap for more. Lead the Stampede. Counterspell would have been their best draw here. Looks like they did draw it. Okay. It happens. Winding Way, floating 2 green. Creature. We found an Axebane. Let's play it. Play an Avacyn's Pilgrim. Untap the Caretaker. Tap for blue. Untap the Caretaker again. Tap for blue. Now we'll transmute the Drift. Go pick up Freed from the Reel. And we're looking at a win on our turn. Secret Door is already on the table. So we don't even necessarily need to find a win. Secret Door is a win condition. It's just not a great one. It takes a lot of clicks. No blocks. I'm at 4 and they have 1 card in hand. Okay. Shield Wall Sentinel. Tap for green. Tap for blue. Played Free from the Reel on the Axebane. Alright, so we have infinite mana. Okay. I am too lazy to win with Secret Door, so I'm just going to... Whoops. I guess I can play this too. It's fine. Let's go get another Drift. Transmute this Drift. Grab the Invoker. Okay. Play the Invoker. And I guess they want to see me do it. So we're going to make a bunch of mana here. I'm going to be quiet while I do this, just because you don't need to see me tap and untap a million times. So I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so I've made a bunch of mana, so I'm just going to start winning the game at this point. Let's go. Alright, so that's 1. I probably made enough mana, but counting is for suckers, so we're just going to click and find out. Yeah, we have plenty of mana here. I'm just way too lazy to venture into the dungeon over and over and over again. Alright, so our opponent conceded once we got them down to 2 life. We're 4-0. We have the opportunity now to play for a trophy. Stick around, find out if we get it in match number 5. Want early access to articles at theepicstorm.com? Become a member of our Patreon to get articles 7 days early, on top of other sweet benefits, and help us pay our website team. You can sign up at patreon.com/theepicstorm. For the Undefeated Trophy, we are on the play in match number 5. Yeah, this hand is great. Keep. Alright, basic forest into Avacyn's Pilgrim. Mountain. Monastery Swiftspear. Okay. Might be a tough one. We're going to 19. Red is traditionally not a very good matchup. I think we got pretty lucky in the other one that we won. Draw for turn. I was hoping to rip a land there. Play the Battlement and we'll pass. We'll dare an Epicure. Okay. I take 1 and another Monastery Swiftspear. We're going to block 1 here. Save a point of damage. Draw. Another Rumble Fort. Okay. So it's kind of free for us to play this early Caretaker. And now this taps for 2. Going to Winding Way. Creature. Oh, come on. Oh. So brutal. We have to pass. So Aquarian Ranger there would have been insane, which was what I was going for. I mean, we're a 13 land deck. This isn't average, but I just got blown out. They discard a mountain, and they play another land. And the Festivities. So this kills my Avacyn's Pilgrim, and then they can Lightning Bolt and kill my Overgrown Battlement. I guess it's kind of free for me to block the Epicure here. No, another on the Festivities. Okay. And there's the that's brutal. That was brutal. We just have to pass here. They have 2 cards in hand. 3 cards after their draw step. My apologies. I'm at 10 life. I have to block just because if I don't, I'm so close to dead. I need time. So I kind of just have to hope that our opponent has nothing in hand. 2 mana for Kessig Flame Breather. They have 1 card. Draw. Wholesome Marasa. That's not awful. Okay, pick that up. Replay. Pick up the Caretaker. Pass the turn. They discard a land. Goblin Blast Runner. They bolt the Caretaker. Alright, they're Hellbent, so that's worth noting. When they swing here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to take it. I could return the forest and soak up 2 damage, but I think it's more important that I untap next turn and use my mana more efficiently. So I'm at 6 life. Drift. Draws have been so clunky. Okay. Lead the Stampede. Alright, we need them to draw a land here. Seal of Fire, that's going to win. So this puts me to 5. Oh, this was actually one of their best draws because of the Blast Runner too. This puts me to 3. Pretty sure I'm just dead. Because even if I block 3, 3 damage gets in. Yeah. Okay. That was a brutal one. That was actually our first game loss on the event. We were currently 4-0, 8-0, and we just lost it. Okay, so we're going to get rid of the Tuk-Tuks and the Cinder Walls. Get rid of this Mnemonic Wall that's 63 cards. Take out the Secret Door. Last time I accidentally submitted 61. I think you're supposed to board out 1 Lead the Stampede. I wonder if you're allowed to board out Reaping the Graves here, because you're boarding the second Pulse Marasa. I think I like that. Alright. Game 2. No, unfortunately. They kept 7. Sometimes with this deck, you feel like you just can't get hands that play Magic. Green Ranger pass. Monastery Swift Spear. We are not blocking. Draw for turn. Hey, that was a good one. Winding Way. We'll say creature. Alright, that was much better than game 1. Swing. Goblin Blast Runner. Into Goblin Blast Runner. Okay. We'll take 1 down to 18. Another Winding Way. So we're going to play the Battlement, pick up a land, and then we're going to play the Leaf Caller. Pass the turn. Land 3, they have 4 cards in hand. We'll Dare an Epicure, floating 1 for some reason. They get a blood token. They're going to use it immediately, discarding a land. Chain Lightning on the Leaf Caller. Okay. I'm going to block one of these 3 power creatures and we'll take 5 down to 12. Oh, it has Menace. My bad. I didn't realize that. I've played against this card a bunch, but I guess most of the time I'm not playing decks that block. Alright, I'm at 11. Another Overgrown Battlement. We'll play this. Now this taps for 2. We'll play another Overgrown Battlement. Untap. Replay. Tap for 3. Lead the Stampede. Oh yeah, that was a good one. Alright, so now we will play Quirion Ranger. Untap the Overgrown Battlement. Tap for 3. Healer of the Glade. Triggers. Healer of the Glade. Alright, so it looks like we've stabilized a little bit. Not having the Leaf Caller now matters after we picked up the Crimson Acolyte. Synthesizer. Land. They have 2 cards in hand. So the upside here is that the Synthesizer does sacrifice to the Goblin Blast Runners. And they're just going to pass. Draw for turn. Ooh, that was good. Play the Leaf Caller. Tap. Make 1 white. We'll play the Crimson Acolyte. Tap for 3. Lead the Stampede. Okay, so we've won game number 2. I feel like we got pretty lucky that game. Now we're off to game number 3, Submit. For the Undefeated Trophy. Very, very, very good hand. Keep. Being on the draw is unfortunate, but this hand's pretty solid. Turn 1 Monastery Swift Spear. Land 3 is not bad. Play Healer. No blocks. Actually, should I block? Make them cast a spell here instead of like another creature? Okay. Like they were forced to play Lava Dart here instead of a 2-mana creature. I would consider that a win. Overgrown Battlement. We'll pass the turn. Synthesizer. They find land 3. 4 cards in hand. I'm not blocking. 19. Another Pulse Marasa. Get back the Healer of the Glade. Play Healer of the Glade. That worked out quite well for the home team. 28 life. Seal of Fire. They have 5 in hand. Land 4, and now they can play the Seal of Fire. I'll take 2, I go to 26. Winding Way. We'll say creature. mean, there's only 10 lands left in the deck. The Leaf Caller isn't bad, but I feel like I need to save the Leaf Caller until there's a spot where I can play the Crimson Acolyte. Pass the turn. They have 4 cards in hand. Going to double block the Samurai, because this forces them to use something on a Healer of the Glade that I don't care about. Sure. Alright, they have 4 cards in hand. Pulsar Marasa on Healer of the Glade. It's back! Land number 6. Chain Lightning on the Battlement, sure. And then they flashback Lava Dart. Okay. They're at 3 cards in hand. I'll block a Swift Spear here. Like, this healer doesn't really do us anything, so it's fine. Let's play the Leaf Caller. They've used the Lava Dart. And then immediately use it for a white. We'll play the Crimson Acolyte. They have another Lava Dart for the Irachi Leaf Caller. But now I have a blocker for Monastery Swift Spear. Okay, I take 2. 33. Avacyn's Pilgrim. And now they have to kill this, or else the Acolyte turns on with the Lava Dart. So they're going to Lava Dart my Pilgrim. Ooh, we got the full 4 value. And holy moly, was it good. Seal of Fire. They Lava Dart my Pilgrim as expected. Land. They have 1 card in hand. And I'm still at a very healthy life total here. Block. 28. Play the Caretaker. Healer of the Glade. Avacyn's Pilgrim. Pass the turn. They Seal of Fire the Pilgrim. They know that they can't beat the Crimson Acolyte if it ever comes online, so they're forced to just waste removal on creatures that aren't very good. Card casting Fire Blast on a Caretaker. Wow. Okay. So they'll swing for 2. I go to 29. And they're hellbent. Nothing in their graveyard with flashback. I can now play out this Axebane Guardian. Pass the turn. Synthesizer, I mean, that was a good one for them. Now they can play the land and then immediately sacrifice it. So that way they get their Blast Runner trigger to another Swift Spear. So I do get to untap with the Axebane. Let's get this off the table. Draw for turn. Bryant Ranger. I think that actually creates a win here. So we'll play the Battlement, so that way the Axebane taps for 2. We'll play the Quarian Ranger. Tap for double blue. Return a land to untap the Axebane Guardian. Freed from the reel on Axebane. So it's a very slow win, but it is a win. Untap. Untap. We're making 1 mana per click here. Actually, it's like less than that. It's 1 mana per multiple clicks, but we're doing it. Okay. And now I'm going to tap for green. Let's lead the Stampede. We get it all. And the Invoker shows us the win here. 5-0, undefeated with walls. Hell yeah. Hell to the yeah. Alright, so decklist was perfect. Pilot was perfect. Everything went well. I'm joking. Please don't. Somebody's going to hold that against me. It's a joke. But really, I loved the deck list. Having 3 Avacyn's Pilgrim felt really good. I still don't like Secret Door. I think that this should come out of the deck. I don't know what it should be, but I'd prefer more mana. I feel like this deck really struggles in the early game, and just making sure that you're hitting all of your mana or your 1-drops goes a long way. So I'd be interested in cutting this for pretty much literally anything else. I know a lot of people, they play the, what is it called? It's not Nissa's, Vivian's Grizzly. So that way you have something that doesn't lose to Pyroblast here. I think Vivian's Grizzly is fine in paper. It's not good enough for Magic Online because it's too many clicks to draw through your deck. Sort of why I don't like Secret Door, at least when playing online, because you can't just go, okay, I'm going to demonstrate a loop. I'm going to go through the dungeon 500 million times. But I think if you're worried about Blue Elemental Blast, you should switch this to the black one, and then you don't even have to worry about that. It's just a little bit less versatile because you can't kill creatures, but who cares? Yeah, I don't plan on changing anything here. I love the deck list, so thank you for watching, and why not? Let's open all. Let's see what we got. Okay, Scalding Tarn, that's a good one. We opened up a Shieldred! Yes! Yes! There's the money. Some Liliana and some Jonah the Unifier. I don't know what that does. But wow, what a good league this was. We went 5-0. We opened up Shieldred the Apocalypse. Wow. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Keep storming, all that good stuff. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.